I'm J.D. Cunegan, author of Natna in the Jill Anderson series, and today I will be reviewing S.C. Anderson's coming-of-age scavenger hunt tale, X Marks the Spot. I hope I pronounced that right. I Googled it and everything. It's what I get for taking Spanish instead of French in high school. I'm already a massive fan of S.C. Anderson's work, both as an author and as a cover artist. So much so that I was eagerly awaiting X Marks the Spot and didn't even really bother reading the blurb. See, Anderson's one of those read no matter what authors for me. She puts out a new book, I buy it. Simple as that. So I dove into this one without much in the way of preconceived notions or expectations. And not only is this book Anderson's finest work yet, it's emotional and charming and heartfelt and funny in ways I didn't know I needed. Well, I don't share much in common with most of the characters in this book. The drama and the heart behind all of it is evident on every page, and the result is one of the more visceral and emotionally satisfying books I've read in a long time. X Marks the Spot is mostly charming and light, but there is a dark undercurrent to it, despite the fact that this book is mostly a love letter to Provence, France. Jamie, the protagonist, hints at this undercurrent throughout before the proverbial chips are finally laid bare near the conclusion. This shameful secret of hers, for lack of a better term, informs Jamie's every thought and feeling throughout, even if some of it only makes sense in hindsight, and it all grounds X Marks the Spot in far more depth than I anticipated. Not because I don't think the author is capable of such depth. She obviously is. But again, we go to the notion of preconceived notions and expectations versus reality. And this is one case where the reality far exceeds the expectations. Anderson is at her best here, and she takes readers on a tour of southern France with prose that is luminary and evocative. And it's easy to get so lost in these pages. It's rare for me to get so sucked into a book that I read practically the whole thing in one sitting, which is a me problem, not a problem with the books I read. But X Marks the Spot sucked me in unlike anything I've read in years. I mostly find myself drawn to superheroes and magic and prophecies and the end of the world and things like that. But this quirky, charming, coming-of-age story is definitely going to have a permanent place on my shelf. Once I find a place. This book has heart in spades, and it is equal parts charming and adorable and funny. This is S.C. Anderson we're talking about here. Funny is what she does. Perhaps most importantly, there's emotional heft here. I don't mean that in the sense that this book is unceasingly depressing, but in the sense that you feel Jamie's plight. Both the large, overarching one that hangs over the entire book, as well as the small ones along the way, as she's learning how to navigate a world that is both intimate and unfamiliar. As much as this is a coming-of-age story, this is also a fish-out-of-water story. You feel what Jamie's been through, what those around her have been through, and how that informs every word on every page. This book is the perfect encapsulation of the importance of character. If a writer can get you to emotionally invest in characters, they can do just about anything and you'll go along for the ride. You will laugh. You will cry. I'll admit it. I did. You'll scream at certain characters in exasperation and you'll wish you could hug them when they shatter or succeed or both. X Marks the Spot is S.C. Anderson at her absolute best, even though it is night and day from anything she's written before. There's even a nice plot twist. In the race for best book I've read in 2020, a race that I made up just for me, X Marks the Spot goes straight to the front of the line, and I'm hard-pressed to think any other book I read this year will be as engrossing, as emotional, and as fulfilling. I don't care if this is your cup of tea or not. It wasn't mine. But you need this book on your shelf or on your e-reader. Just trust me on this. Like what you saw today? Click the like button and subscribe to this channel so you can be notified whenever there's a new video. And be sure to visit jdcuneganbooks.com to check out my work and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Links are down below in the video description. Be safe and be good to each other.